Hello and welcome to the Coming Down to Earth with Spirit podcast with me, your host, David Hale. In the podcast, we'll be talking about mediumship and all things spiritual in a down-to-earth and honest kind of way, with a touch of humour also. So I hope you can join me on my podcast journey so you can learn from my own spiritual journey and experiences with spirit in the aim to help you on your own spiritual journey, or it may just be to answer any of those questions that you have about the spiritual world. So join me now as we get into this episode. Hello everyone and welcome to episode 10. And in this episode I'm going to talk about my experience with spirit rescue. Now, what is spirit rescue? So let's explain it first. Well, spirit rescue, if I first say, it can be a bit of a controversial topic in the spiritual community. And I'll explain why in a second. But spirit rescue is the name of it's like the name of the process that a medium goes through to help a spirit that's, I nearly said stuck, I don't want to say stuck, but a spirit that's attached to the earth energy. And the medium just helps that spirit person across. So the way to visualize it in your mind, this is the way I explain it to people, just to keep it simple, is that when we leave the physical body, we go to the spirit world and we cross the threshold into the light. That's the natural process. But sometimes it's said that there are some souls who can attach themselves to the earth energy. So when they pass out the physical body, they don't quite make it through that threshold. Now, it's controversial because there are some mediums who don't believe in that whatsoever. The belief is that when we pass over, we go straight to the spirit world. That's our natural home. That's where we come from. So that's where we go back to. So why would we be attached to the earth? I keep not wanting to say stuck because stuck is a word that's used, but for me stuck has that real negative connotation, like, oh, they're stuck here, which means there must be something wrong, or there must be in some kind of torment or something like that. But they're not. We try to use the word attach themselves to the earth. Now that process makes perfect sense to me as in when we pass over, we go straight to the spirit world. That makes complete sense, right? Because that's where we're meant to go. There are some mediums who do believe that sometimes, on some occasion, there are some spirits who can attach themselves to the earth for a variety of reasons. It can be if they died in an accident or if their life was taken from them. Is obviously there's a shock to that, to the body, to the spirits, and therefore they're a bit confused and they don't quite make it across because they're stuck in this energy of, oh, did I pass away or something? There could be the fact that the spirit is attached to something or someone. Maybe there's a family member who's currently ill and they don't want to leave them. Maybe there's a project which the spirit person hadn't managed to finish, so they try and attach themselves to it. Maybe there's a building or a house or something like that which they're attached to. Now, there are some mediums who don't believe in that at all, think it's a load of rubbish. Again, because of the first reason I said, is that when we pass over, our natural home is a spirit world. So again, why would we attach ourselves here? Now, I could have been of the opinion, when I first started, that my belief was also that we go straight to the spirit world. Why would we get stuck? Why would we be attached to the earth? Because when you pass out the physical body, to some it's a relief. You're leaving this physical plane, which is hard. Living life on earth as a human is tough. It's hard. In the spirit world, we don't have any of that. In the spirit world, there are none of those. There isn't any hard work like there is here. There isn't any paying the bills, or there isn't any of those low vibration emotions that we have here, like depression, anxiety, or those mental health issues. So it's a release to go to the spirit world. However, with the experience I'm about to give you now, that kind of changed my mind on that. And as I always say, I can only talk from my own personal experience. Any of the podcasts that I do is my own experiences that I talk from. So this example that I'm going to give you, it's not based on an opinion, it's based on an experience. And no one, obviously, and I always say to people, no one can take away your experiences from you because you experience them yourself. And I chose it to be part of the Spiritual Impacts series is because it impacted my knowledge. It impacted my way of seeing things and seeing things a bit differently. So let's get into it. So a very good friend of mine, Caroline, I'm sure might be listening. Hello, Caroline. Her friend wanted a reading from a medium, and obviously Caroline, being my friend, recommended me. And so we organised a reading, and I was doing the reading, and she could take everything I was saying. It got emotional quite quickly because of who was coming through. And then all of a sudden, I picked up this little boy, and I even got a name of Ben put in my mind. Now, look, people are going to say, oh, Ben's quite generic, but it could be without the extra evidence that I gave, right? But I gave evidence about what I felt Ben was doing. I didn't know who he was, how he was attached to her, but I picked up things about what she was feeling, what she was hearing, and she confirmed that for years and years, this little boy, whoever he was, had come through in other readings that either she had or her mum had, but neither of them knew who Ben was. They knew he was a little boy because they were told that, but they had no attachment to any little boy called Ben or any little boy that had passed over that they knew of in the family. But this little boy, it almost took up residence in spirit in her house because she was feeling the knocks. Hearing the knocks. She was feeling the prods, and she was sensing him. She would get little shadows across the wall and all those kind of things. And she wasn't scared of it. She felt very comforted in the fact that this little boy had chosen to kind of inhabit her house in spirit form and keep her company. This has been going on for a long, long time. But I couldn't quite get to the bottom of who the Ben was. I just picked up on him, but couldn't get to the bottom of it. So anyhow, we finished the reading, and maybe a few months later, her mother wanted to have a reading from me as well. So we're doing the reading, and personal stuff for her came through. And then Ben came through again, and I'm thinking, why? I know you're elated, so there's going to be an attachment there as well. And this lady also confirmed that yes, Ben kept coming up in her readings, but again, she didn't know who Ben was. But I picked up things that she'd been hearing, sensing, and all made sense. And then I got to the bottom of who Ben was, and it kind of turned out, long story short, that Ben had attached himself to the earth plane because of his past connection with these two lovely ladies. Now, I know that although the other guy I did the reading for, she wasn't bothered that Ben was in her house. She felt quite comforted. It wasn't bothering her. There was nothing sinister about it. It was just a nice energy. In my mind, what I kind of was made to feel is that Ben isn't meant to be here. Ben is a spirit person. He shouldn't be attached to the earth. Now, although he's not in any distress or any torment, nothing like that at all, his true home is the spirit world. He needs to go to the spirit world and being that energy and that vibration of spirit, and not down here with us in this dense, heavy earth that we live on. This is not his home. So I've never done any spirit rescue before. Well, actually, maybe in the church when we were doing a table tipping session, which I mentioned in the previous video, we did have a couple step forward and we helped across to the light. But that was a group of people, so it wasn't me leading it or anything like that. So I thought, okay, let's just give this a go, because I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if what I'm about to do is going to make any impact at all. I don't even know if spirits can be stuck. However, I've got a young boy here who I feel has attached himself. So again, long story short, I had a word with him, told him it was okay to cross over, that he's got his loved ones in spirit waiting there for him as well. He needs to cross to the light. And in my mind, I almost saw this door open. As the door opened, this light shone through, and he stepped through to the light. And at that point, he went and kind of disappeared from my mind, and I couldn't get any further communication with him. He's kind of gone. So I thought, So I explained that to the lady. I thought, okay, I don't feel he's here anymore. I haven't got him talking to me. I don't know if it's gone, if it's just my mind or what's happening. Anyway, we finished up the reading. And then fast forward a couple of weeks later, I asked my friend Caroline, I said, have they heard from Ben since? And she went, nothing. Not a dicky bird. They've not heard anything. So I thought, oh, okay. And then again, a few weeks later, I asked again, has Ben made an appearance again? Just in case it was a fluke or something. She went, no. She went, is gone. Is not shown himself. It's not made himself aware to her at all. So that was a point that I kind of realised that, one, what I'd done had worked, and that I was able to send him back to the light. And number two, it then must prove that especially in that case, that sometimes a spirit will attach themselves to the earth, and sometimes they do just need the push. So as much as I want to believe the whole we do go to spirit straight away thing, which I do still believe in that, it now makes me realise or understand that there are some spirit people who will attach themselves to the earth. And it's important to emphasize the themselves, because I don't believe that anyone can hold someone back from passing to the spirit world. I think if a spirit wants to attach themselves, they will attach themselves. And if they do attach themselves, there's no torment, there's no distress, there's nothing like that at all. It's just they've attached themselves for whatever reason, but sometimes they might just need a little push to go back over to the spirit world where they should be. Now, I want to give another example here to act as the lesson for people listening to this. And this is more for people who have lost a loved one to the spirit world and have had readings from other mediums who might have told them something quite ridiculous. And this is an example I'm going to give. So I had, let's say there's two. So I had one lady come to me, quite distressed because she'd been to see another medium who had told her that her young child, I think it was a baby who passed. I think the baby had been born, but passed prematurely because of complications or whatever. And said, because of the way your baby died, it stuck. Who tells a person that? Who tells a mother who had lost her child that their baby is stuck because of the way they passed? What a load of rubbish. Please don't be that medium who says things like that. So, I mean, again, I couldn't really undo that for the woman because I'm not the medium. I don't know what the medium picked up on. But I can, for me, that, although, yes, we can attach ourselves, a baby who had died as a baby, I don't believe can get stuck or attach themselves. Why would they attach themselves? And to get stuck? Because no. I don't believe that to be true at all. But to actually say that to the lady and cause her that kind of distress is horrendous. And another example I will give is a woman come to me, and because another medium had told her that your grief, her dad had passed over, and the medium says to the woman, your grief, all your grief does is hold your dad back from going to the spirit world. Again, utter nonsense. Your grief will never hold anyone back from going to the spirit world. But again, because it's a natural progression. When we pass, we go to the spirit world. And humans, we grieve. That's what we do. Our loved ones, when they pass over, they're fine. They've gone to a much better place. It's us down here, us humans, that have to go through the grieving process. Both of those things are a natural process. So to tell a woman that her grieving is holding her dad back from going to spirit, what a load of rot. Again, please don't be one of those mediums, because those things I've explained, they do not do anything to help those people. Those people come to mediums because they want a sense of peace. They want to subconsciously receive some healing. Those things that were said to those people did not give either of those things. And that's what we should do is never to distress anybody. What we should do is to help people. And again, look, I'm not an airy-fairy person. I'm not an airy-fairy medium. But it's not about that. It's about bringing that comfort and peace to people, not distressing them in any way at all. All right? That's just my opinion on it and my view on it, especially from my own personal experience. But I'm going to leave it there. So I hope it helped. And please keep on listening to the remaining episodes. So there you have it. That's that episode finished. Hopefully you enjoyed what you heard, and if so, there are plenty more episodes in the Spiritual Impact series to come. So do stick around if you're interested in learning more from my own personal experiences with spirit. Once again, you can find the videos on YouTube if you wish to watch me talk about it. Otherwise, please stick around with the podcast and you can download the episodes and listen until your heart's content. But until then, look after yourselves and hopefully I'll speak to you all soon.